Hi, this is Stewart Bruce at Washington College GIS program, part of the Center for Environment and Society. This is going to be a short demonstration on how to use the Washington College GIS viewer for the Places of Worship project. We've sent the username and password, which I'm not going to repeat here, but I'm going to go ahead and enter that in. And once you log in, you have an opportunity to go to what we call the interactive map search, or you can go to the interactive database search. I'm going to go ahead and for now go to interactive map search by clicking here. This pulls up our data focused on the central part of Maryland, and you can see that we have a lot of places of worship available. Some of the basic things that you can do, I want to point you to the left-hand side of the screen. We do have a zoom in button, so you can zoom in. You can also zoom out. You can use the slider bar to zoom in and zoom out. You can also use the center wheel on your mouse to accomplish the same thing. If you want to focus on a certain area, this button here, which is our zoom by box, if you click that, then you can draw a box around an area like I'm doing here and zoom in. Next thing I want to show you is you can change from the map view to the aerial view. So if you'd like to see an aerial image, you can go ahead and see that as well. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the map view for now, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And I want to draw your attention to the table of contents where it says layers here. Here's where we can turn churches on and off. We have other data layers that we've added, watershed boundaries. You can see that we have the labels for the watershed boundaries here at various locations. We have the Senate boundaries. Turn those on here. We have the House boundaries. We've also included the municipal boundaries for the various towns. For example, you can see down here is Laurel. And we went ahead and put the county boundaries on as well. Now we designed this application to be very, very simple, and I want you to observe what happens as I zoom in. As you zoom in, you'll reach a certain scale where instead of seeing these little blue symbols for places of worship, they will change to a yellow dot with a number. When that happens, if you hover your mouse over the dot, information on that particular place of worship will appear. One of the things that we have not fixed in the application yet, but we're working on, is we do have a URL for the church, and we will get this to the point where you can actually click on it. It will go to the church's website. We also have a button here. It says View Case Report, but this would actually pull up a PDF with basic information about the place of worship. This is currently not functional. The next functionality that I would like to show you is our Select by Location. If you come up here to this top toolbar and pick the Search Layers by Area tool, and then select the Select by Rectangle, I can come in and draw a rectangle around these 4 places of worship. And when I do that, they will be selected and information about them will appear in this table below. If you scroll across this table, you can see the URLs. You can see how we've ranked them. Notice this one doesn't have a ranking on it. That's because as of this date, November 24th, we're still finishing up some of the ranking and also doing some QC. You can also see we have the watershed, sub-watershed, legislative district, and the Senate district. And then some additional information which won't always be filled out. Depends on where we got the source data from. And then we also here have some of the municipality information as well. So these 4 churches are actually not in a municipality. You have the option, anytime you see the table here, I want you to notice that we have this little button here, Export to Excel. If I click that button, it will let me save an Excel file. I'm just going to go test as the file name, and I'll hit save. And then if I go back and open up my browser, You will see the Excel file here. I can then double click on that file. It will open up Excel. Here's my Excel table that has all the information for my selection. When I'm done with the table, I just come right over to here and hit this minimize results window. The next thing I want to show you is some of the search functionality that we built into this. I'm going to draw your attention to the magnifying glass up here called Search Layers. I'm going to go ahead and select that. And what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to do a search for all places of worship within a particular sub-watershed. So if I scroll down this list here, notice I have sub-watershed. I'm just going to pick a sub-watershed, and let's say I'm going to pick the Conowingo Dam Susquehanna River. I select that, and I simply hit search. I came up with 6 places of worship. Down here in the table, I can hit this magnifying glass, zoom to all, and that will zoom into those 6 places of worship. Now, if I hover my mouse over any of these red dots, I can quickly see the information on what these places of worship are. So it allows me quick and easy access to the data. If I wanted to, I could then hit the Export to Excel button and export those features. I'm going to close a couple of these windows right now. If I want to reset my selection, I come up here and hit Clear Graphics. That will reset. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out here. I'm going to go into a densely populated area. So I'll come here and zoom into Baltimore. As I zoom in, maybe I have a project going on at a specific location, maybe something along this particular stream here, and I'm interested in seeing all the places of worship within, say, 2,500 feet. So if I come up here and select the search layers by radius, I can type in a distance of 2,500 feet. I come point on the map where I'm interested, click once. It selects a buffer around that point and highlights the 3 places of worship that are within so many feet of my study area. We also have the capability for you to find places or points of interest. When we click on that, we can put a point of interest in. Let's say we're looking for Johns Hopkins, and we hit search. We found a couple different Johns Hopkins. We could then zoom in on one of those locations and then do a radius search. Now we do have the capability to search by address, find address. Right now, as of the date of this video, this function is not working correctly, but we hope to have that ready in a couple days. But when it's working, you'll be able to type in the street number and street address, and then it will take you right to that particular location. For those of you that are familiar with advanced SQL queries, if you hit these magnifying binoculars here, we do have an advanced query. You can query any field that's in the data. You can pick your operator. For example, equals or so forth. And then you can select different values. So if I pick field name equals Senate District equals, I can click this button here called Values. And I can pick any Senate District I want, so you don't have to remember how to type it in. Then I would hit Add. And then I could add another query to this by using the OR function. So this allows you really to do any kind of query that you would want to on the data. Now I'm going to go ahead and clear all the graphics off the map. So let's say I'd like to make a little map of a certain area. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in somewhere kind of randomly here. I'm going to turn on my aerial photograph. I can see my places of worship location. I come up here and hit the print icon. I can put a title in. And then I'll click print preview. And now I can actually print this out as a map. Now the print function only works with the Internet Explorer browser. Unfortunately, it does not work with the other browsers. Next, I'm going to show you the difference between the map view and the form view. You come up to the top here, click switch to form view. You can do the queries without ever having to actually look at the map. So I could go places of worship. I could pick, say, legislative district 20, and I simply hit search. It returns approximately 86 places of worship within that legislative district. I can just print this out to Excel and off I go. Don't even have to see the map unless I want to. If I do want to see the map, I would just come up here and click switch to map view. And then I would have to zoom to selected features. And there you can see all of the places of worship within that legislative district. And again, I can hover my mouse over them and I can see what's going on. So those are some of the basic functions of this data viewer, and hopefully sufficient for you to navigate around and explore. If you do have any questions, you can contact me directly. Stewart Bruce, my office number is 443-282-0012, and I can always be reached by email at sbruce2@washington.com.